Scotch for Dummies. It's that time of year again. We're gonna run through my top 5 picks for Scotches of the year 2020. All right, so honorable mentions. These were Scotches that I thought were excellent and I wanted to talk about them just briefly, but they didn't really make my top 5 for a variety of reasons. Let's start out with the Amrit Intermediate Sherry. It's a great whiskey. It had everything that I look for in a whiskey, but it's not a Scotch. And so I kind of let this one slide, but I didn't want to let it slide so much that you guys miss out on a great whiskey to try. So the Amrit Intermediate Sherry, definitely worth checking out. Next on my list of honorable mentions, we've got Lagavulin 16. It's a classic. What can I say? It's got depth and character and a little bit of peat and smoke. It's hard to go wrong with the Lagavulin 16, and I always have a bottle on my bar. But we've reviewed it a couple of times, and I didn't feel like it was criteria-wise what I wanted to put on my list for top 5 for 2020. Next up, I've got Ardbeg Ugadale. We did a re-review of this whiskey this year. Of course it scored great. It's an awesome whiskey. This is the one that opened my eyes to peat. I didn't understand peat or how good it could be until we bought this bottle. And even then, I really struggled with it initially. But if you can get through it and really learn to appreciate it, it's a wonderful glass. Definitely worth checking out. But we reviewed it a few times and I didn't feel like I could put it in the top 5 this year. My last honorable mention is going to the Balvenie 15 single cask, the sherry cask that we did. It was a wonderful whiskey. I really enjoyed it, but there's so many variations of that Balvenie 15 single barrel. If you go to the liquor store, you probably won't find the one that we reviewed. That being said, if you do find the one that we reviewed, definitely pick it up. It's worth the time. All right, now it's time to get to the top 5. It's what everybody's been waiting for, right? It was an interesting year. We did a lot of re-reviews. There were some that I thought could probably make the top 5 that I left out. There was a few that I was kind of surprised that I put in, but I put them in for reasons of my own. And since this is kind of all up to us, here we go with my top 5 picks. At number 5, Loch Lomond 18. I scored this one a solid 3. This is an $85 bottle. It was our first outing of this distillery, and it was also a gift from our good friend Mike. This particular distillery is very prolific. It has a lot of different lines, both grain and single malt, that come out of it. I really enjoyed this one for the unique flavors that it offered. Things like pumpkin and hay mixed in with tapioca and vanilla. It was just a very unique Scotch. I thought it was just interesting and entertaining, and it didn't break the bank at $85, and I think that it's a good one that you guys should all check out. At number 4, I have the Balvenie 12-year Sweet Toast of American Oak. A $75 bottle. I scored this one a 3.5. I think that it's interesting when distilleries try to highlight certain aspects of their distillation and aging process that lets you kind of appreciate what that particular thing offers when they do it. And I thought that this one, with the way they did the caskings, really highlighted that oak and what it brings to the whiskey based off of, the Balvenie spirits. It had a super long finish, vanilla, brown sugar, a little bit of oak, but it was done in a good way. Nothing was overpowering. I think this is an excellent one to try and seek out. $75, 43% ABV, hard to go wrong with that one. All right, guys, at number 3, this one we had heard a little bit about. There were some rumblings from some people that we trusted in the background that we should seek out this bottle. The Glen Scotia Victoriana. 51.5% ABV, about $95 to $100. I scored this one a 3.5. It was big and bold, sweet and oily and complex. It did need a little bit of water because it was 51.5 to kind of open up and give you everything that it had. But it was one of those scotches that had that old character to it. tobacco and old books with like a hint of smoke. And then there was sweet notes that kind of rounded everything out. Just a really wonderful Scotch. All right, guys, it's time for the last two in my countdown. Number 2, Glenmorangie, A Tale of Cake. I have to agree with Mark on this one. I think the name is a little weird, but I like the marketing that they did. I really like the box, but that's not why I like the whiskey. You're talking $100 limited edition, 46% ABV bottle. I gave this one a 3.5. It was a whiskey finished in Hungarian dessert wine casks to kind of give it some sweet cake influence. And it did that. I got pineapple upside down cake. With a little bit of water, I got vanilla cake. It's just fruity and fun and kind of unique, and it's pulling a lot of different flavors out. It was just a really enjoyable glass. Sometimes when distilleries do stuff that's kind of a one-off and it seems like a marketing gimmick, that's kind of what it is. In this case, I think that they just wanted to do something fun. And it really is a fun glass. And for $100, you know, it's not something that's gonna break your bank, and it's definitely worth checking out. It's time for the number 1. And I don't think it will surprise anybody when I say my number 1 for the year is Kilkerran 8. The cask strength, 57.1% ABV. This was our first video of the year. We dropped 4s on this bottle coming out of the gate for 2020. This bottle may have been the best thing that happened in 2020. It's just big and bold, funky, sherry, bananas Foster, like deep and complex. And we weren't any of us expecting it. If you go back and watch the video, we're just kind of blown away by this thing. It's only 8 years old, and it doesn't taste like it. And it's not priced like it. $70. So if you can find it out in the wild, definitely worth picking up. I know it's a little bit harder in the European market to find it. In America, it's in limited releases in different places, but it's well worth checking out. So there you go, guys. That's my top 5 for the year. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned. We still have one more dummy with a top 5 video coming out. And then the 4 of us are gonna sit down and kind of discuss who won 2020. So stick around for the live shows. Tune in for our reviews every Monday. Thanks for watching this year and every year. Cheers, guys.